Hey guys, Tim Ford here, and I want to walk you guys through the somewhat confusing method of putting your photography or your art online. Now, this could be anything from galleries to showcase your artwork and your photography, selling your photos, just simply blogging, or all the above. And there's a few ways to do this. You can have your own web page set up with your own domain name. That will be a self-hosted site that you're managing yourself. There are all-in-one web solutions, and there's just places to put your photos in general, like Flickr or 500px. And I'll try to walk through all of these solutions as best I can and as quickly as I can. The self-hosted option, that's going to be where you sign up with a web host, you purchase a domain name, and you install either WordPress, or you can just do your own web authoring using Dreamweaver or whatever you prefer. Typically, you're going to go find a web host. I typically use DreamHost, which looks like this. And once you've signed up, you'll have your own control panel, and you have the opportunity to install things like WordPress or Joomla, a lot of these content management type of things. And most of these web host companies have auto installers for things like Joomla or WordPress. And all you do is just click it, and you can install it. You can install it on the root of the site, so as soon as you install it, boom, your web page is a WordPress site, or you can have it as a subfolder. So it'd be your domain / WordPress or your domain / photos, or whatever you want it to be. Okay. Now this kind of solution requires a bit more customization. You're going to have to babysit your own site. You're going to have to install the shopping carts. You're going to have to do a lot of your own maintenance here. But in some cases, it's worth it. In some cases, that extra work actually pays off. If you're looking to just post your photos somewhere for people to look at, you could do something like Flickr. Flickr looks like this. And Flickr is owned by Yahoo. And you can just upload your pictures and share them with people, and they can comment on them. And it's a great way to just share photos. Another one is 500px, which I'm a fan of. I'm a awesome member on 500px. So I paid the extra money to have my own stats, my own portfolio page, and all kinds of fancy stuff. And this site is more about voting and getting people to see your photos via popularity. You can use it that way. I prefer to use it just to showcase my photos, and as well as have my own portfolio, which looks like this, which I think is pretty cool. It's a nice professional looking portfolio. Okay. That's a couple of them, Flickr and 500px. Flickr is free. 500px is also free. However, if you want more of the bonus features, you have to pay for it. And that's true with Flickr as well. Flickr gives you 1 terabyte of storage for free, but if you want unlimited storage on Flickr, you have to pay, I think it's $20 a year. The other option is the all-in-one sort of turnkey solution for doing this, and that's things like SmugMug or Squarespace. So this is Squarespace, and Squarespace is one of those all-in-one turnkey solutions. So you can do things like you can have stores, you can have portfolios, there's blogs on here that you can build, and it's all built in. They handle all the back-end stuff for you. All you worry about is putting content up here. You can do some customization of the site, but overall it's them doing the kind of the back-end shopping cart customizations and things like that you don't really want to worry about if you're not a techie guy. So Squarespace is pretty cool. Another one is SmugMug. Similar. Photo websites, not free, but again, they handle the shopping cart. They handle all that kind of nasty stuff in the background, while you just focus on putting stuff up here. And you can do things like selling posters, selling all kinds of stuff. Okay, let me go back to talking about the self-hosted solution with something like DreamHost. What I like to do is I use WordPress, and I'll often start with a theme from a company called Elegant Themes. It's these guys. What I like about Elegant Themes is their support is great. I've been able to take their themes and kind of tear them apart and put them back together using CSS and using the support to say, well, how would I make this menu smaller? How would I adjust this area of the site? And they're pretty good about getting back to you and saying, okay, well, just change this code here and there. What I also like about Elegant Themes is that they have a number of responsive themes. Responsive means that this will work on your computer, laptop, it'll work on a tablet, it'll work on a phone, it'll work everywhere. People more and more are now using the internet on their phones and on their mobile devices. So, I'm not saying that laptop usage is going away, but more and more people are using mobile devices to look at sites. So, my own personal site, which is over here, this is an Elegant Themes site. This was done in Elegant Themes. If I look at it at a mobile-friendly resolution, you can see if I scale this up, you can see what it does. So on a laptop, it looks more like this, whereas on something like an iPhone, it's going to look more like this. And what happens is now I'm in a mobile environment, so my navigation has changed to a drop-down, and everything has kind of been squished into this, fits on the screen kind of a size, which is nice. I don't have to worry about scrolling or trying to see all the content by swiping the page or anything like that. It's all just on the page. You can see all of it here. So I don't have to worry about scrolling or having the page, not fitting. It just all sort of fits right into the page and it looks good. So Elegant Themes are great about that. It's not free. Like you can see, it's $69 to sign up, but you can download all their themes for basically $70. All right, so let me show you a little bit about how you can use Lightroom to work with photos and getting those on the web. Lightroom has what's called publishing services. If you're in the library tab, you'll see these publishing services. So you have connections to Facebook, you have connections to Flickr, and something called JAlbum, which I'll talk about in a second here. So Flickr, you just authorize it to upload to your photo stream. Same with Facebook, you can have Lightroom export a bunch of photos right to Facebook. Pretty easy. And then there's something called JAlbum. Let me show you what JAlbum does. This is pretty cool. And we go back here. So if you have a bunch of photos, let's just filter these. Say you have all these photos. You say, what? I want to put these on the web in a customized photo gallery using Lightroom into JAlbum. So what I can do is drag these in, drop them on there. Let's rename this to something else. Let's rename this to, I don't know, trees. Okay. What's going to happen is if I say publish this, it's going to go OK. So it's going to publish it and open it into the software called JAlbum. And JAlbum is a web photo gallery building software. Not free. I think this was $50. Don't quote me on that, but it's not free. But it's pretty cool. It has its own skins you can apply to it, to your photo gallery. I use the turtle skin by default. And I'm not going to get into all of how JAlbum works. I'll just show you what it looks like when you build the album. It already populated the software with the photos from Lightroom. Called the photo album Trees. If I say make album, it's going to process it. We can preview it. And there you go. This is what JAlbum builds. So it's pretty nice. The only drawback to JAlbum that I can think of is that it doesn't really work seamlessly with WordPress. If you're going to use this photo gallery on a site, you probably would just want to have a link to the page itself and have the page be the gallery. You wouldn't have this sort of embedded into your WordPress site. It would just be, well, here's a link to my gallery, and bam, it opens up in a new window. That's probably the best way to do it. But yeah, it's pretty nice. You can do slideshows. A lot of navigation options here. Really cool piece of software. So that's JAlbum. You can get it from jalbum.net. Let's actually go there and see how much it costs. And so here's JAlbum's webpage. We'll go to the pricing per lesson. So it's $44.50 to buy it. So it's pretty sweet. The software is pretty awesome. All right. Okay, so kind of continuing with the theme of putting your own photos onto your own personal web page. I do use WordPress, and the main way that I get my photos on my web page is with a piece of software called NextGen Gallery. And NextGen Gallery is free, but as always, there's a paid version you can get, which I did get. And I'll show you in a second what it looks like. But basically what you're going to do with NextGen Gallery once you install it is you'll have a little button over here in your WordPress admin panel that says Add Gallery and Images, Manage Galleries. If you say Add Gallery and Images, you can build a new gallery. Well, let's just go ahead and do one. Why not? Well, let's call this one Trees, just like we did before. Add some files to it. Here's the trees. Okay. Go for it. Alright, so it's done. And if you want to see the gallery, you can just do a new post. Let's do a new post real quick. We'll just call it Trees. And we will, just for demonstration's sake, let's use the little button they have here, attach NextGen Gallery to post. I just want to do some basic thumbnails. What do you want to display? I want it to display gallery. We want to do trees. So go ahead and save that. It's in there. Let's preview it. Okay. So what it's done is it's built a post called Trees. And here are the pictures I put in. I can click on them. Now here's where the Pro version kind of comes into play. The Pro version adds what's called NextGen Gallery's Pro Lightbox, and this is basically almost like a slideshow viewer. You can kind of bounce around to different images, and also you can go over here and you can choose to comment on each image, which is nice. Okay, you can open up the information here, and you can also share to Google+, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter. So there's more social options in this version of the Pro Lightbox. The non-Pro Lightbox looks basically like this. You have, again, your thumbnails, but when you open up your thumbnails, it's simply an image. There's no options for sharing or anything like that. It's just simply the picture, and that's it. In some cases, that's better. You might like that better. And actually, the paid version lets you do this if you want, but it also gives you several more options that you wouldn't have with the free version. So that's pretty cool. So that's NextGen Gallery. Like I said, it is free. Let's go back to that. Pretty nice. There is another option that's free. Let me go back to my dashboard here. And WordPress has a plugin called Jetpack, and Jetpack has its own gallery as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'm going to use the same post here. We'll say, let's go ahead and put add media. We'll create a gallery. Okay, and we can just go ahead and let's just grab a few here. And we'll say create new gallery. And you can do a tiled mosaic, you can do a thumbnail grid, however you want to do this. It's kind of cool. Go ahead and say insert gallery. So it looks like this. You can say preview. And what's nice about this one is it looks at the images, analyzes them, and it makes this kind of tiled look, which is pretty cool. It's kind of nice. And you have this little... I actually have a different Lightbox plugin installed, but basically that's what the free Jetpack gallery looks like. It's pretty cool. That's a free plugin. So that's Jetpack, that's free. Now, as far as selling photos, there's a free option. It's called Photomodo. Photomodo is an interesting service. I've signed up for it, but I honestly haven't used it yet. But basically what happens is there's a free version of Photomodo, there's a Pro version, there's a Pro Plus. You can see here what the options are. With free, they're taking 22% of your sale, but it is free. And you can sell these different types of products. For $10 a month, the transaction fees drop significantly. and for even more, so it depends on what you're doing. But Photomoto, like I said, it's free, and there is a Photomoto plugin for WordPress, which allows you to kind of, add a buy this image button to your galleries. So that's pretty sweet. And, for free, you can't beat that. The cool thing here is that there's a difference between Photomoto and you managing your own store. Photomoto is a service that, if the product is sold, it goes to them and they handle everything. They handle shipping it, they handle printing it, they handle all that stuff. So that's kind of nice. If you don't have your own printer, or if you don't want to have to deal with the shipping and all that stuff, all you want to worry about is putting your images out there, letting someone else deal with the mess. Photomoto is great. There are some other options as far as you yourself doing all the management. Probably the most popular for WordPress is a plugin called WooCommerce. Let me show you what WooCommerce looks like. All right, so this is an example of a store built by WooCommerce. Okay. So in this case, I'm talking about selling a T-shirt, but this could be a photograph you're selling, and the person will say, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and add it to my cart. Right? There's your cart, and they're going to do a whole thing with checking out. You're going to get the notification of a product being sold. You have to handle, contacting the customer, printing the image, getting that stuff out to the customer. So there's more management on your side, but the benefit is that, obviously you're getting all the profit. There's no one saying, well, I'm going to take, 50% of your cut or whatever it's going to be. It's your own store. You're handling it. So there's a benefit there. So again, that's WooCommerce. WooCommerce is free. So, something to look at. Other ways to sell your pictures. If you are on 500px, you can actually sell your images. So if I wanted to sell, say, this image, I can enable it into my store, and voila, people can go on here and buy the image. And you get a cut of this. I'm not sure how much, but I think it's, honestly, I don't know. I've never sold anything on here, so. But yeah, it's, again, they're handling all the printing, they're handling all that stuff. All you're doing is putting your images out there and worrying about promoting it to sell it. That's your only job. So that's a little easier. So that's 500px. I mentioned earlier Squarespace and SmugMug. Again, these services both allow you to sell your images, and they handle all the printing and everything else, shipping this stuff out. So kind of nice. Another one is Zenfolio. Again, Zenfolio, they will let you sell, photo books, prints, posters, whatever you can think of. They handle all that for you. You just worry about putting the stuff out there. Again, you can also actually use Etsy to sell images. Etsy is, typically more for kind of fine art, but people are using this for selling images. Like, for example, if I go on here and I type in New River Gorge Bridge, you'll find that people are selling images of it. And here's one for $4. No, $4. And they're just digital downloads of images for $4. Hey, why not? It's pretty cool. Now, obviously, very popular nowadays is social media. I'm not going to get too crazy with this, but obviously the monster is Facebook. Everyone's on Facebook. I've created a Facebook page for my own photography. I don't know what I'm really getting out of it. Facebook's a bit odd with how they deal with when you create your own personal page like this. They want you to do things like promote page, which means paying them. So if I put a Facebook post from my Tim Ford photography page onto Facebook, typically it gets buried pretty fast. They don't, they're kind of saying, well, look, if you want this thing to be seen, we want you to pay us. So, I have it out there. It's kind of a cool place for me to just to put images for people to go on here and say, oh, there's those pictures. That's pretty cool. But honestly, I'm not getting, as far as, recognition and things like that, I'm not getting much out of it, honestly, unfortunately. But again, Facebook is the monster. It's the biggest one right now, so everyone's using it. So you might as well be on here. Yeah. So, of course, also it's Google Plus. Google Plus is, people kind of from the Facebook world get kind of confused. They go on Google Plus and they go, well, where is everybody on here? Well, with Google Plus, you have to go and seek people out. You can seek other photographers out or seek other groups out, and it's kind of more of a community vibe. You go on here and you say, okay, well, I'm going to join this, landscape photographers community or Canon photographers community, and then all of a sudden you've joined this mass group of people, and it becomes more about this whole community-driven feel. So, yeah, Google Plus is nice. It's also, for as far as images go, Google Plus does a much better job of compressing images and doing things like that. You look at some pictures from Ireland on my profile, and they look really nice. They look really good. Nice quality. Facebook doesn't do as good of a job as Google Plus does. Of course, there's Twitter. Let's go over to Twitter. Twitter is more conversational. It's more like, almost sending a text to somebody. And of course, Twitter is all about hashtags. Hashtags are a way of organizing content here. You can actually search hashtags and find things. If I search like GoPro, hashtag GoPro, I find content that's just GoPro stuff. So you can creatively use hashtags here. If you're a landscape guy, or if you're a panorama guy or an HDR guy, you can hashtag panorama, you can hashtag HDR, and hopefully get more people, to your content that way. Instagram, you're limited to a 4:3 aspect, so it's just kind of this square-looking image. But it's more about fun. It's more about travel photography almost. You're mobile, you're on the go, and you're just sharing stuff as you go. But people are using it. It's people like Ford Motor Company are using Instagram, so it's getting more and more popular. So, yeah, Instagram's pretty cool. Once you post to Instagram, you can also simultaneously post to Facebook, so you can get some content kind of flowing back and forth between Instagram and Facebook. So it is good for that, since Facebook does own it. So Vine is, I believe, Vine is owned by Twitter, and Vine is a way to post video. And you get a 6-second video that gets posted to Vine, and then of course it's almost like Instagram's, kind of a deal where you just post these quick videos when you're out and about. People can share them, and there you go. And then last but not least would be Pinterest. Let me show you a good way. I found someone using Pinterest. If I can find it in this myriad of tabs here. There it is. So Pinterest, the demographic is 90% female, 10% male. Mainly because women are using Pinterest for wedding planning a lot. So this girl here, this Catherine Hall Studios photographer, she's used Pinterest in a very clever way. She has pins that are all related to weddings, not just wedding photography, but wedding planning. So if somebody goes on Pinterest and searches for what's a great wedding venue, they're probably going to run across one of her pins, and then they say, "Oh, Catherine Hall Studios. Oh, she's a photographer," and hopefully pick up some clients. So that's a very creative way that this person's using Pinterest to hopefully gather some clients, and use social media to do it. So that's pretty cool. All right, so that's pretty much what I wanted to show today. Yeah, there's a lot of options for putting your stuff on the web. It's kind of a dizzying array of things, but you can kind of pick and choose where you want to go with it. You don't have to be on Facebook and Google Plus and Pinterest and Twitter and Instagram. And you don't have to do all of them. You can kind of pick a path and go with it, and kind of find your way. And everyone's kind of using this in whatever way suits them the best. So yeah, I hope this helped, and talk to you guys soon.